Hello again everybody and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all okay. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 others flying along today, which is awesome. So great to have you guys fly along again as always. You guys know I enjoy it. Hello to David in the live chat, Reese as well, both channel members there. Hello to you guys. And who else we got here? Elwapino, Gridderman, Armani, Johannes. Hello to you guys as well. So this is the halfway point of our FlyUK tour, and we're flying the Scenic South America Tour, which is a Class D pilot rank within the virtual airline. It's a Class D tour that you can do, and today we're heading out of Argentina, Tucuman, which is where at the moment, and we're heading to Asuncion in Paraguay. So this is leg 5 of 10, sorry, and we've got a couple more hops before the last 3 or 4 that are all within Brazil. Obviously that's a huge country, so really good so far, really scenic, and it looks like we've got good weather today as well in Microsoft Flight Simulator's live weather engine, so we should get some good views on the way as well. Reese is booting up now. Daniel's in as well on stand 7, nice stuff. John, hello to you as well. Daniel, yeah. No surprise model matching's playing up there, sadly. Let's get the passenger door closed. If you're new to the channel, say hello in the live chat.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the
And make sure you hit that subscribe button down below as well. Doctor on board, hello. Good stuff. Armani, yeah, I agree. It's fantastic livery. Windshield low, left and right. Pro bicing on. Air conditioning's on, recirc fans on, cabin pressure is set to our current elevation for the airport, and we want boost pumps on, ready for start. Let's get that logo light on as well, shall we? XO's ready to go, engines running. That's you on the right hand side then, I assume. Tucuman traffic, Skyways 4944, radio check.
Yeah, readability, thanks.
Awesome. So, get that beacon on. Doctor aboard, yes, CRJ, love it. Probably my favourite aeroplane in the sim at the moment, and I know people say, well, you've only got a few aeroplanes, but I think it's brilliant. Really do enjoy using it.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
XO, after you then. Look at that APU valve there as well, I love it. All the little details in this. Right, continuous ignition on.
Pushing back.
Tucuman traffic, Skyways 1808 is backtracking to runway 02 via Takeoff.
Start your engines at your discretion.
I'm hoping I'm turning at the right point here. I'm focusing on the N2. David, nice. Yeah, the Grand Caravan is quite a nice little aeroplane, to be fair. Unlock the gate, flick it into idle. Awesome. Nice to have a bit of good weather this time round. It was miserable flying into Tucuman, I remember. And we had similar into La Paz as well. That'll do us, I think.
Pushback complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Parking brake set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear. We will see you on the right with the pin.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks. Have a good flight. See you later.
With your seatbelts fastened and your seats in the upright position. In case of a drop in cabin pressure, breathing masks will drop from the ceiling and should be placed over your head. If there is smoke in the cabin during
I had too many messages on Discord actually. I just remembered I forgot to do a few vital things. Let's focus on the engine start first. Right.
extreme emergency landing, you'll be instructed to get into the brace position, which is executed by placing your head between your knees with your hands over your head. We would also like to remind you that you should turn off all electronic devices. We thank you for paying attention during this brief presentation.
Alberto, hello. 1022 1022, and what else have we got here? Maybe ground spoilers, armed. Good. A little refresh there, and the SID Bitis 3 Alpha, and it's just a no constraints, so just climb away. Let's set our cruise 33,000. We'll just rocket straight up to that. So engine 1 and 2 stable. Just make sure I've reset the throttle there. Continuous ignition is on there on the status. We don't want that, so let's go off. APU available, power. So we shut the valve.
Tucuman traffic,
Stub trim is set.
315 Delta, beginning taxi to runway 02 via Alpha.
Alberto, yes, you're correct. Make sure, guys, you've started. Make sure you guys have started Skytrack.
Oh yes, I almost forgot it. I had to shut down my engines again.
Well, it's a good job he knows before we took off. What else have we got here? 114.1.
If you want, one of you guys can backtrack with me here. Like, I can stand on the side, so we can take off like 2 by 2.
Nav. So that's set. So we also want to track the VOR1. Let's set those. Taxi. And they're all rocking and rolling.
Similar to La Paz, I think we're going to have to hold and then wait for everybody to just line up and take off.
I mean, if there's a CRJ, you can come here. Like, there's enough place for 2 CRJs here.
I've got another 5 minutes before I start my engines, to be honest. Osprey 315 Delta holding short at Alpha for runway 02. I'm an A320, so I can't make it on that.
No worries, I'll take off then. Sky 2008 taking off for runway 02.
Tucuman traffic, Skyways 4944, taxiing on Alpha in sequence number 3. The commentator, hello, hello guys. Marnie, hello as well. Mats, good afternoon.
Mike, pushing and starting on stand number 1.
Took a bit of a fiddle actually there for the throttle to kick in.
Traffic, Skyways 5563 is pushing back.
Let's see. 3 more left, I think, and we want flaps 8, which is there. Although that looks rather forwards.
Sorry, John, just started pushing before you called.
No, that is a
back a bit further.
jolly good.
No, that's no problem. I'll wait for you to clear and I'll push
Jason,
back up
hello.
again.
Hope you're okay. And Extreme Paul, hello. There goes EXO. Rocketing up in the FlyUK Crystal CRJ livery. Looking great. Look at that. What a good simulator. This is such a fantastic simulator, isn't it? Forgot taxi lights, naughty me. Might as well stick those on too. Make sure I've not forgotten anything else. This will allow us to maintain a bit of separation as well for when we get to Asuncion. For those of you guys flying along, if it's about 1 hour 9 I think, but time permitting, if we get there really quickly, we could, in theory, do the next leg if you guys wanted to. But it's all dependent on you guys and time and things as well. Ordinarily I'd start the chrono, but the less it has to think about, the better. I was gonna I was gonna surprise you guys as well. I was gonna go into the first officer seat today, but I couldn't find the button that allows you to flick between the two. But if someone can work that out before we depart, let me know. Abdul, hello. Excellent, no problem at all. Extreme Paul, good stuff. The VMRs are quite tricky and I still don't really fully understand them, to be honest. The simulator does its own thing sometimes.
Tucuman traffic, Osprey 315 Delta, taking off runway.
CRJ700. Danny, hello. The next sector. I'll find out in a second. I'm just trying to position this for a cheeky screenshot. We look tiny next to the A320, don't we? The next sector I think is 1 hour 30 minutes flight time. Abdul, yes it will actually.
Tucuman traffic, Osprey 475 landing off runway 02.
I moved the mouse and I got that silly little thing there.
Tucuman traffic, Osprey 315 Delta, Elba on 2,500 feet, flying heading 017, shortly making right turn.
Off he goes. That's it, Asuncion to Montevideo. Good, there we go. That's the next leg. Cheers, Goodman. Technically, my view should be up here actually because of the indications on the display here. That does seem quite high. There we go, let's hold. Paddy, hello to you. Troy, good afternoon. Hope you guys are all okay. Oh, look at that little right turn. Love it. Little screenshot of that for FlyUK. There's a, I'm not sure if you guys saw it actually at the start, but look at that live weather system coming in over there. Rolling in over the clouds.
27 Juliet Mike, taxiing Alpha, holding point on 902.
Ashley, hello, good afternoon, hope you're okay. Well, let's see, I don't know if I can get a good screenshot here. I'm going to try and get him rotating on a screen grab. Asuncion, yes. Thanks. My pronunciation is not the best, Alberto, you know this. But yeah, potentially we could do the next leg. If it's something that you guys flying along can do, the majority. There he is, rolling. Get my screenshot button ready. Look at this. Awesome. Yes, love it. Tucuman traffic, Skyways 4944, backtrack, runway 02. Strobes. Goodman, yeah, you know what I've got to say, you guys will remember when the Aerosoft CRJ came out, I wasn't too convinced, and I thought I'm not really a fan of regional jets, so I wasn't considering purchasing it, but I'm so happy I've got it. It's so good. I'm properly enjoying it, I've got to say. I love the hands-on nature of it as well. You know, there's a lot to manage, of course. So there's lots for me to do. David A, good morning, and Paul D as well. Captain Paul D, hello to you. There's more to manage and deal with on this, but I absolutely love it. The VOR is correct because we can see that needle moving around, and it said on the charts that the VOR is kind of here actually, so that's all good. Click, click, click. Everything else is ready to go. It's so bright, it looks dark in the flight deck. Runway length, certainly long enough for flaps 8. And we've got our stab trim set to 7.2 as well from our performance page here on the graph. I've actually set it to be quite heavy today as well, so we've got 66 out of 70 passengers, and our aft cargo is half full as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff.
We are indeed. So strap in. Ah. Ah. I know I'm on the runway, but my Skytrack hasn't started, so I'm just going to quickly shut down. If one of you guys want to go ahead, then I'll hold short right at the base. That's so annoying. I click start as well. Bloody Skytrack. Every time. I actually clicked start as well just before the stream began.
I'm okay where I am for a bit. So I've got some lights I can't get rid of in the cockpit. The engine start lights won't stop.
One of those days then.
I might have to reboot the on the EFB.
Right, the APU is almost fired up. Sim Aviation, hello. We're just dealing with a technical issue with our virtual airline program, so we can't actually depart until that's fired up. So part brake on, make sure the APU's on. That is, so good stuff. Fuel cut off. Come on, let's go. Let's do this quick. In fact, start selected flight. That's worked. Continuous ignition. Right engine start. It's not going to allow me to start, is it? No, I'm going to have to let them stabilise. There we go, lovely. We're doing this nice and quick. I'm glad I noticed that actually before we departed, otherwise I would have been I would have been livid. Ah. Legs. I'm actually going to start both. I know we shouldn't really do both at the same time, but why not? Let's just quicken it for everybody else. David, what would be great? Come on, there we go. Click, click. Just gonna watch those stabilise. How are we doing on the overhead? Lights are all as required. Hydraulics are still on. Dome lights on. Not that it's giving us very much. Boost pumps are on as well. Those lights should go off soon. Hungry Vessel, good afternoon. Okay, there we go. Good stuff. Continuous ignition off. APU, power. Boost pumps have gone off as well, so they're on auto. Tucuman traffic, Skyway's fallen on a 4-4 departing 02 on a Beta 3 Alpha departure. Click. That's toga mode. Beta power. It's like nothing happened. Toga. V1. Rotate. GUI. Positive regret. We are heavy and a little bit bouncy. Sky's fallen on a 4-4's airborne 2000. So, speed.
Traffic
Nav.
5563
Autopilot.
is backtracking runway 02.
Climb gate. .200 knots. Daniel, awesome. Sounds good. And away we go. That's a strange little view that wasn't there before. There goes Tucuman, Argentina. Hungry Vessel, if your IFR, put 2000. Well, all the cabin textures are all a little bit eerie today. That's bizarre. Let's check a different view, shall we? There we go. That's a good old favourite. God, that was so close to doing a bit of a free flight there for no hours whatsoever. Always a worry. Make sure you hit like, guys, if you haven't done so already. Give us a little thumbs up while you're here. Let's start to accelerate a bit as well, shall we? Get that nose to come down in climb mode. 250, transition altitude, standard pressure. Standard pressure. Speedbird Sim, what is the button next to the altitude knob and vertical speed mile, vertical speed dial? VNAV.
Departure.
So there is a linked VNAV option within the EFB. Standard as async. There. Remembering this, we've got to resync the heading bug as well. And airborne. Look at that, love it. So if you want that option, and for those of you who might like a little bit of assisted vertical navigation, you can go options and then you want to change next page. Coupled VNAV available. There you go. So it's actually an option in the CRJ 900 and don't want that page. 900 and 1000. So you just got to turn the setting on inside the EFB and you get that. Although I rarely use it myself, if I'm honest. I like to work it out myself. Push to direct, push to reset. It's advisory VNAV in the CRJ. However, that button there will be more like a full VNAV, so it will descend for you. You just got to change the altitude knob. XO, yeah. The CRJs 700s don't have it, but the 900 and 1000 do as an option. Which is why it's in there, because the actual flight deck and everything that Aerosoft have got for the two, there's nothing dissimilar. So it's there as a ghost option because they're obviously coding the 900 and 1000 series as well. Click, click, click. Cool stuff. Love it. Let's get rid of VOR, we'll track FMS1. What's the transfer button? Not sure, if I'm honest. I would have to look it up. And yeah, that's the biggest thing, learning how to manage the entire aeroplane, manage the throttles and everything else.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now serving sandwiches.
Oh, goody sandwiches. Reese, it's bits 3 alpha to Bitis and then GAVX after that. So we're still doing that Bitis transition. If you want to join a virtual airline, then I can highly recommend FlyUK. It's free to join. You get some discounts as well off some scenery developers and add-on developers for the sim, like FS2 Crew as well, and you get some awesome liveries for the jets. David, I'm okay en route in it now, but approaches aren't smooth at all. You get the hang of it. It's just a lot to manage on approach. If I pass controlled airspace, should I contact ATC with a request to IFR flight following, or do they pick me up automatically? They will pick you up automatically, so you would just call up your altitude. Some places require you to say the aircraft type as well, but then just explain what waypoint you're inbound. They'll know your IFR at that point, give you a squawk code to change to. Aaron, good to know. I might well do the next sector as a first officer then, I think. To throw in a bit of challenge for us there. I'm tempted to flick it onto now actually. And do the remaining sector as a first officer. Which I've not done in the sim at all yet, ever. Okay, let's check our progress. 300, 21,000. She climbs like a rocket. That's one thing I've not done actually, is set a actual... Oh no, it's 2,000. Good stuff. We've got traffic on. Where's traffic? There. RAM Air, yes, that's what I've been clicking. Except for after departure. 2 to depart still, wow. We're getting there. Nice 25 knot tailwind for us there. Pushing us along ever so slightly. And there's our ground speed of 463. We should, I think, have contrails soon. Temp fate, let's have a little look. Not yet. In a short while though we should get some contrails. Such a great aeroplane to look at. They're not far off releasing the 900 and 1000 series add-on for the Aerosoft CRJ, and I'm really looking forward to picking that up as well. for some more Scandinavian flights. There's Bittis. So, because of our altitude, the aircraft eventually will put itself into half bank mode, and it will do that automatically once I think we pass 28,000 feet, I believe. Speedbird Sim. No, I'm on VAT Sim. I don't use IVAO. Look at that. It's a setting inside vPilot, so you just go to settings, miscellaneous I think it is, and there's an option for show text messages in simulator. You just tick that, hit apply, and it will then show all of the text messages sent on whatever frequency you're on as a little pop-up on the screen, which is quite handy sometimes. Waiting for it to click into half bank. Mort, I was actually in the middle of the pack actually, so not sure. I could fly a hold potentially, but it all depends on how far ahead the guys ahead of us are, because I had a bit of a delay myself on departure. We've got a tailwind, but with a crosswind component now because we've turned more north. It's just fighting to get itself back on track here, which is one of the little weird things that it does. After takeoff checks on the yoke there, CAS checked and altimeter standard. We've already done that. That's all good. What we can think about doing is Speedbird Sim. No, you can't see the vPilot menu though. That's the only thing. That's a separate program. What we can think about doing shortly is planning our approach, because I think we're going to be there before we know it, or at least having to consider descent. Navigraph's changed as well, interestingly. Let me show you Navigraph. The layout's changed somewhat. There's our current position, and we're heading up via Gavex. We're heading all the way up northeast to Vinos, and then Isagu. So we're not going in a straight line, we're following a couple of airways round. We're going Isagu, and then this arrival, ILS Zulu 20, is what we're expecting. And destination, trying to get used to this new layout. Open charts list, and we've gone to Isagu, which looks like this. And I'm going to have to check the legs, because I've got a feeling it could look like that as well. Actually, that wants us to go inbound via Bival, so I'm going to change that, because I think I've not done that correctly. Departure arrivals, SCAS, Isagu, inbound via Bival. Was it Bival? Yes, inbound via Bival, good stuff. Execute. So you can actually look at this page, you can click MFD data, and you can actually view this on here as one big list, which is quite cool. But I can't remember for the life of me how to scroll down. I can't remember. Quite cool. I can see the autopilot struggling a little bit as well with turning. Should have gone onto half bank mode as well. Let's just give that a quick refresh into climb. So Isagu, we have to pass 302 AT, which should be in legs. Was it in discontinuity there? Let's delete that. Always check your plan for discontinuities whenever you change it, and if you find it, deal with it. 302 Alpha Tango, there we go, perfect. So we have to be at or below flight level 190 at that point. That's altitude capture, so we've got the throttle. Hungry vessel Navigraph is what I've got. 46 knots tail wind with a slight crosswind component there for us. Quite good. What else? So 302 Alpha Tango, and then Oblum, yep, and then inbound via Bival. And then we've got Linnell and Berva. That's interesting. So approach, Bival, Linnell, Berva. Okay, awesome. Yeah, perfect. That's what we can expect. There you go. And all of the data's up here as well. So we've got the airport elevation of 290. We need to change that manually in the CRJ. We've got our ILS MDA of 449, or the rad out of 200, and our missed approach info as well. You can see there's a hold at Lytton, and there's a hold at Packer as well. I would imagine there's a hold on the other star as well that we're actually planning to use. And there's our approach plates. 3-degree glide slope, intercepting from Berva at 1,900 feet. At that point we'll be low and slow. That's the lock Zulu. There's the lock Alpha for something a bit different. All good. We can look at putting that in as we get a bit closer. You can see there it's lined up nicely inside our route. Runway 20, and if it's a missed approach, the flight plan will trigger itself to go to 3,000, to direct to Packer, and the hold at Packer. And that'll happen automatically in this. Aerosoft are doing quite a good job of it. Nav ILS DME of 1095. It would probably be auto-tuned, but we could just type it in. Like so. And what else have we got? So if we look at the star charts, there's no VORs. But there is a VOR at Asuncion.
Thanks for helping around with maps and newbie.
Put that to there. Hungry vessel, no problem at all. Thank you very much for your tip as well. It's really appreciated. Cheers. I'm glad I've been able to help. Exo, you're seeing TCAS targets in the A320. That's mad. And yeah, we're pretty much following this road most of the way, I think. There it is, a little interstate highway thing, running all the way through to the distance. The METAR at Sagas is broken, yeah. It's at 000, isn't it? But it might just be that in real life. It might just be absolutely calm. Winds calm, clouds visibility okay. QNH 1027. METAR Sagas. I'm just going to check a different website. Current report was made 8 minutes ago. No, it's actually correct. Winds are calm, 000 at 0 knots. That's Silvio Pettirosso International in Paraguay, Asuncion. So it's actually correct. Managing the throttle in this. Just going to bring it back a tiny bit. You know what I did forget? Oh no, I didn't. I deactivated those. Jolly good. South America has been really quite scenic for the tour. When we complete this, FlyUK have recommended that we do the UK hops tour as well. There's some contrails. And they're pretty much short, snappy hops in the CRJ all over the UK, which is quite cool. I don't think I've landed anywhere in the sim yet where the winds have been calm. It's actually going to be, I think it's going to be quite nice. (12°C), and it's set particularly early in the morning, I think, for them still. Yeah, 9:40 local. On Sunday, for you guys that are just tuning in, maybe for the first ever time, we're going to be doing a giveaway, and we're going to be flying the really cool Boeing 787-10 Heavy Division mod from Vancouver, and I've got the FS Dream Team scenery for that. That's on sale at the moment with Orbex, so £7.60 it cost me. It was really good. And we're going to head down to San Diego, which is my favourite place in the United States, and I've got the amazing Latin VFR scenery for that, so looking forward to that as well. We'll be checking out the very latest updates to the Boeing 787 Heavy Division mod too. So quite a nice little Sunday stream, roughly a 3-hour flight time, and we're going to give away 2 vouchers. One winner is going to win an Orbex Direct gift, and the other winner is going to win a €10 Sim Market voucher. So we do loads of giveaways on the channel. Make sure you hit subscribe. Daniel, yeah, this is polar opposite to St Moritz actually. Although I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed St Moritz the other day. EXO, I was looking at that the other day myself, considering doing a long haul in it and live streaming it. I've only ever done one long haul actually in this in the channel, and that was with the Salty Simulations 747 JFK to Heathrow. We did. It was 6.5 hours, blasted along, and that was in the development version, which is now the stable. Gridman, yeah, I also bought Arex North America. So, gone all out to make sure we've got scenery end to end. But I will also be in the brand new official channel livery, Boeing 787. So, freshly painted by one of the livery creators on FlightSim.to, Frex. And we're going to be flying in that with the Osprey channel call sign. Third of the way there already. Nice. Little turn to counter for the wind. Hungry Vessel, of course, yeah, you can fly whatever you like. Flight Dreams, good morning. We're flying from your part of the world on Sunday. Might put some floodlights on inside the cabin, where the cockpit, it's quite dark for seeing stuff. Mach 8.1. Reese, yeah, there'll be another one, I'm sure. I want to do a few flights out of San Diego actually, it's my favourite place. That's what we can also prep to. Airport elevation of 290. So in the CRJ we need to change the cabin pressure, which is this dial here, manually, and bring that landing elevation down to the correct figure. So when we touch down, the aeroplane changes. Gabrielle, you have auto throttle. No, this aeroplane doesn't have auto throttle. This is me controlling the throttle. A little pro tip for the CRJ: set your speed target. So for me, I'm Mach 8.1, and then around that, you want around 85.8 to 86% N1 for your cruise, and it will hold, providing the weather's not particularly turbulent, it will hold your speed quite nicely, and then you don't really have to change the inputs much. So there's a top tip for you guys, worthy of a subscription if you haven't done so already, I'm sure. Landing elevation minus 320. Whoops. Goes up in increments of 20. 140, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80. There we go. 10 feet of difference because the airport elevation is 290, so actually less pressure or more pressure. Gabriel, there is no auto throttle in the Aerosoft CRJ. The CRJ in real life doesn't have an auto throttle, it's down to the pilots to manage. But as you can see, you don't have to chase the speed. As long as you fly it like a pro, you can set an N1 and just sort of let it sit there. So you can see here, I'm not changing the throttle, I've just set it. The top tip is to set an N1, like I was saying a minute ago. You have to pretty much find what's right, but I'm holding Mach 8.1 at 86.1. If I bring the throttle back ever so slightly, so I'm just at literally one click, oops, that's 85.4, maybe a bit too much, just bring it up a tiny bit, 85.8. There we go. That speed, and now just drop more central into that band, hopefully, and then stabilise itself. You don't need to. In this, a lot of people get worried, and you've got to learn how to fly the plane, because if it bugs out, even in the Airbus A320, if the auto throttle goes wrong, you've got to control the throttle, and it's quite nice learning how to control the aeroplane properly, and it improves your flying ability in the sim for other aeroplanes as well, because you're aware of your speed more, you're aware of what the aeroplane's doing the whole time. It's an absolute pleasure to fly. You can see there that the speed tape with my Mach that I've targeted is actually Mach 8.1. If I flick that to Mach 8.2, then it looks really perfect. So we're just going to hold that. Another cool thing, heads-up display. Oops. So we've got a heads-up display that we can use as well, which is really cool. Vinos. Well, what second? I quite like the longer journeys. As you can see here, I'm not changing the throttle, guys. I'm just the pro tip, like I've said, is you set an N1 for the speed that you want to fly at, and providing the weather doesn't change, or you hit a load of turbulence, you don't need to change the throttle. So I will leave that on 86.1 until we descend, and then when we descend, I will start the descent. I'll idle the throttle at the same time we start the descent, and I'll just manage the throttle as we go. Aaron, the CRJ is £43, so almost €50 for the CRJ 550 and 700. I love it, it's great. Star, Isagu. There's a hold at Isagu. So if you guys want, I can talk you through how to set an automated hold in the CRJ. I've done a tutorial on it, which goes into a lot of detail. But I could add a hold in too, if you guys want. Yeah, I'm glad you really like it. Again, it's the people that are making the most out of it are probably you're more a sim pilot than a simmer. Pedro, hello. We will be visiting Brazil soon, actually, over the next few legs. So really looking forward to that. And I've visited Rio de Janeiro plenty of times in real life. Absolutely love the country. And I miss sitting on the beach with Caprina. There's some contrails. Should be able to see some. There we go. Mako Simulations, hello. Hope you're okay. Pronunciation of our destination, Asuncion. Look at that, love it. There goes our curve in the contrails there as well. Look at that, love it, that's cool. We're going to try and get a little screen grab of that. Oh. And he presses the wrong button. Of course he does. Now I've lost the curve. Oh dear, oh well. Look good anyway. It's like we've come out of half bank. It's not respecting half bank actually. While we're banking, just gonna have a look at that down there. Look at that. That is stunning. And that river winding through as well. That's interesting. I've put half bank on. It's not respecting it whatsoever. Interesting. Let's just try and wake that up a bit, because I think we're going to be doing the weave, the CRJ weave for the next little while, the next few minutes. Navisim, hello, hope you're okay. I'm glad you enjoyed summer. It's had to go hands-on with your CRJ, not holding the ILS. That's just the issue with the way that it captures the glide slope. I pretty much spend most of my time flying in the ILSs myself. Did you like Tucuman? There's very little there. There's just a there was a runway, and there was an air bridge not connected to anything. Reese, ILS Zulu runway 20 is what I'm planning for. Frianch, hello to you. Matthias, the route is in the pinned messages, so if you click the pinned message, you'll see the route for today. And in fact, Reese, likewise for yourself, it's in there as well. So it's the Izagu Star, and as I was discussing earlier, via Bival as the transition for ILS Zulu 20. Cool. Yeah, it doesn't help with the ice, does it? It's the sim certainly doesn't like icing conditions. God, this left and right bank is frustrating, and it's not respecting half bank for some reason. So there's obviously a bug there. Right, I'm going to put it into heading mode, I think. Stabilise. Nav. What does it do? That's all it needed. Oh no, we're going left a bit again. More, yes. A few seconds late there, but thank you. As you can see there, it hasn't really done anything for us. There's our top of descent for the advisory VNAV from Isagu. And then that's it. It's 20 minutes to 302 Alpha Tango, and you can see it says flight level 190 at or below. And in this, with the linked VNAV button, I could, in theory, click that, and I could arm it, and when we get to our top of descent marker, I will drop it down to 190 or 1980 for example, and it will fly the descent for us. Alberto, yes. Every single Caprinia I've had has been has been exceptionally strong, but love them. They're so good. I could merrily sit there on the beach, and I have quite a few. God, I'm tempted to fly the rest of this in heading mode. Actually, indeed, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Actually, I'm going to give. Apparently they fixed it, haven't they? So I'm going to give that a bit of a go just to see what happens. Not really sure whether they fixed it or not. We'll find out. The moment I get icing, I'm going to go straight into some cloud after the update and just see what happens. And the moment we get icing, I'm just going to turn it off completely. It ruins a lot of screenshots. Because it's quite inaccurate as well, quite extreme actually, overly extreme. I've only had it on visual. I've turned it on to visual only. Still out of range for that VOR, to be fair. There's a hold at Isagu. Now if we wanted to enter the hold for one circuit, we could go hold Isagu, that goes into the scratch pad. We can add it here, and you'll see now the little icon that's popped up on the nav display. Maybe I'll zoom in for those of you who might have a smaller screen. I can't. But you can see a little hold's appeared. And what you now want to do is look at Navigraph. And you can see that that actually looks pretty bang on. It says there you want an entry of 122 degrees. So that's quite important. That's forming the shape of the hold. So that's one thing that we need to change. 122. So hopefully you can see it, the little hold marker there. Now if I change this to 122 with a right turn, so /R. I've covered this in a tutorial, by the way, guys. You can see there I've just changed the shape of the hold. I can change the leg time, so instead of 1.5 minutes I can change that to 1, and it makes it even smaller. And it's giving us a radial of 289, factoring in for wind, so that's probably not far off, because it's a headwind with an ever so slight crosswind component, and the track is 302, so that's probably about correct. It certainly looks correct on here as well. And then we can just hit execute, and it'll allow us to enter a hold. There. So now we've committed that hold into the aircraft. And you can see now we've added another waypoint. If we want to exit the hold when we enter it, when we're in it, you'll have a little icon here at the bottom here. It says exit hold. You click it again, and it'll execute you departing the hold. Quite a cool little feature there. But if you want to remove the hold, what you can do is just remove that there. You can just remove that waypoint of Isagu. Now it's up to you. We've got 80 nautical miles. If you guys want me to fly the hold, then I can do one circuit and then show you guys how to exit. So then you've had like almost like a full live tutorial of it. But it's really cool, and it works very well. And let's see, actually, in the hold, if I want to create a massive hold, I can do a 3-minute leg time, and you can see there how it's turned into some huge sort of balloon, and then just cancel it if you want to cancel the changes before you commit them. One thing that's worth looking at on the charts, I'm going to see if I can do this here. You can see here it says Asuncion TMA, 50 nautical miles, and you can see there oblum. And if I go on the approach charts, ILS Zulu, yeah, that's not really giving us anything. That's fine. So, best example then, oblum, 50 nautical miles. I can put a ring around the airport exactly 50 nautical miles away from it, so I have a visual cue on the aeroplane to show me what I want. And to do that from memory now, so I might get it wrong, who knows. Let's see. You go to legs. He wants to fly the hold. Okay, no problem, I shall. If I get this right as well, you'll see just on the edge of the nav display there, you'll see a ring appear. So next page, runway 20, fix. Not allowed, of course it's not. So, what's our airport code? Joel, this is Navigraph, SGAS. Can't remember how to do this now, it's been a little while. There we go. So SGAS, and I want a 50 nautical mile radius, cross section, legs. So I'll just click a beam SCAS. Is that correct? Yeah, that is the correct airport code. 50. Oh well, I can't remember how to do it. Let's do 50 there. There we go. That's how you do it. Koshal, hello. So you can add SCAS as the reference, add it into the top. That's the airport, so it says at that airport you want to create a fix, and then distance cross. I knew I'd done something wrong. You go 50, more, thank you. Again, slightly slow on the chat, but appreciate that. 50, add it in there, and you can see that line appear. That's a 50 nautical mile circle around the airport. So for VOR approaches and VOR radials, if, for example, you were flying the ILS Alpha, or the Lock Alpha, you could also draw a second ring at 10 nautical miles, so you could have a visual idea on the actual flight plan, on the nav display, of your 10-mile DME arc that you were having to fly for that particular procedure, so quite cool. And again, all these things are included in the Aerosoft CRJ, and use them, because it ultimately makes your life a lot easier when you're trying to fly it. Philip, yeah, it's been a while since I've been in this. Top of descent coming up, so let's bring this in. You can see the hold a bit better now that I've put in here. And if we look at Navigraph, Star Isagu via Bival, that's the one we want. You can see that looks pretty much exactly as the charts have published. So if you guys have a look at the charts, then you look at the nav display with the hold, you can see it's going off around 122 degrees. That looks pretty bang on. Now what the aeroplane will do is it will go up towards Isagu, and then it will fly that first turn away from the waypoint before starting to fly the circuits. So it will sort of intercept across through the centre of the hold and then enter the hold. Somebody asked about TCAS. So click the traffic button there, and then you want to make sure TCAS traffic is on, and you can set above or below, or you can choose normal. I have above and below set on it. Just because it shows me more stuff. I do like it. And then if you get traffic, you should see it. Of course, the 787 now does have top of descent in the heavy division mod. So if you've watched my videos that I did last weekend showing you guys heavy divisions project, you'll see it's got holds, it's got top of descent, and a few other things in the mod. But you want the experimental build, not the dev version, and certainly not the stable from FlightSim.to, because that's quite bad. .40 nautical miles, or 38 or so to go to the hold. And you can see here it says hold, max speed 265 knots. So we will have to reduce our speed for that. What Mach is that going to be? So that's Mach decimal 7.5. So just before we enter that, we're going to start to look at setting up a new speed. It will probably help actually as we start to slow down. I'm going to bring the M1 back a tiny bit. Dylan, hello. Yes, we've got the good old Asobo weave going on the autopilot. Dylan, yes, indeed. So, let's get that throttle down. Yeah, we've done heading mode earlier, but it didn't quite stabilise itself. It's just one of those days, I think, for the autopilot. So max speed of 265 KIS, that's Mach decimal 7.5 for us. Let's try and intercept that with throttle control. So I'm manually controlling the throttle. Maybe about 78% M1 should be good for us. A little bit more, 79. No, probably 80. And any second, let's bring this in. Isagu, hold! You can see now that hold page is now flicked and given us another option of exit hold. Ah, yeah, cool. Gridman with his METAR update, good stuff, thank you. Got a bit more power for us here, and any second we should make sure half bank is off. Always going left. Interesting, it has an inbound turn for a right turn, but it's going left anyway. Oh well. I don't think it knows what it wants to do. Legadude, hello. Well, that's rather frustrating, and we seem to be limited as well. Let's take over here. If it goes wrong, take over.
Dice onion, cats, big onion, good onion, heavy onion, hat.
Wesley, cheers. Aquavitale, hello, hope you're okay. Exo, well, it's more just an issue with the way sometimes it does fly the hold, sometimes it doesn't fly it properly. Certainly if you don't enter, it can be a little bit mugged up. Let's see. So this is what and then I try and get us onto that inbound course that it wants, because it's almost as if it's not getting what it wants and then it just sort of throws itself out. Wesley's here and then gone. Cheers. Interesting, FMS1 seems a bit off. VOR2's live. Kevin Zane in Mexico, hello. Let's bring that in a bit. FMS. Ooh, hello. I know why I might have gone wrong. 122. No. So, quick little bit of vectoring just to try and test if we can fix this. I probably won't have time for a second leg at this rate. If it goes wrong again a second time, then we can bin it off and we'll just continue the descent in. Otherwise the guys behind will start to bunch up a bit too much. Asuncion traffic skies 4944 entering the hold at Isagu for one orbit. Let's see how neatly I can do this. $10 I would imagine it's because the nav was bugging out earlier on the cruise. There'll be an indication there that it's not quite working for us nicely. Let's go back to nav. just set that as an inbound course as well. 122. Let's see what happens here then. Yeah, they've said it's on their radar. It's been an issue from release day actually. Rotor Sim pilot, hello. Hope you're okay. How you doing? Look at that scenery down there. I mean, whether it flies the hold or not, we'll find out in a minute. I'm expecting a right turn any minute. It's like it's put itself back into half bank. And no, it's doing its own thing. I can see what it's trying to do. It's trying to get itself back on that flight plan line. And that's exactly where it went wrong last time for itself. So I don't think this hold's going to work, because we should be turning right around about now. No, give up. Exit hold, exit armed. Out we go, terminating. 302 Alpha Tango. And now if we hit VNAV, which is an option coming soon for the next one. Asuncion traffic, Osprey 165 departing the hold at Isagu inbound. Isagu arrival, ILS Zulu 20. So we can see top of descent coming up. We can arm this. So let's bring it down to, let's see. Let's just do 16,000 feet. .94 knot, 54 knot, 53 knot crosswind. Alex Core, hello. Captain B, hello to you. Hello from London doesn't have any sophisticated feel to it. Speak for yourself. London's terrible, but it's not that bad. Dylan, potentially, it just seemed to be, it was flying its own thing there. So there we go. We've hit top of descent while I was chatting, and you can see the little snowflake. That is our VNAV guidance. So this will be in that button there with the nav data in. It's showing us this beautifully. There's our 15-mile radial around the airport. And there we go, we're flying the VNAV approach automatically now. Free time, hello. So we've already put in our approach data for the arrival, at or above 3,000 at Bival. What else do we have? MDAs, 449, let's put those in, so flick that across, push to set. 449, so 450 is the closest. And we're going to do an ILS, but I don't expect it to actually fly it properly. Lucas, I have done the Salty Sim 747 before with the SimBrief integration a couple of months ago, whilst I was helping test it. But Direct 2s are kind of an important function that I require for VATSIM, and I've told them that a couple of months ago. I mentioned it as quite vital actually, and they're still working away at adding that in. So when they've done that, then I will bother with the mod. It's I like to use VATSIM, and we were extremely lucky when I did transatlantic JFK to Heathrow with a Salty Sim mod. I think it was around January, early January time. We were quite lucky with not having any Direct 2s required during that trip. I think otherwise we'd have had quite a few problems. So, flight level 190. We're still on that little snowflake there, that's looking good. What else was I looking for here? Airport elevation of 290, we've set that already. That's there. I've set that to 300. Hello from Hawaii would be quite cool, yeah. 3-degree glide slope. Final approach course at 206. Let's just prep that. Too far away, no problem. Ah, Daniel, that is not good. Was there a particular trigger that caused it, or we want the QNH? Meta SCAS QNH 1027. Very high pressure today. Yeah, Dylan. Outside of the SIDs and stars, it works. But if you try and do it within a SID or star, it wipes everything. So because of that, I've told them they need to fix it quite urgently before content creators like myself that want the higher levels of accuracy for using it on VATSIM before we start to sort of, or at least would be reasonably expected to use it. You know, it's an amazing aeroplane and it looks fantastic in the sim. I've got to say, it really does. But I just need a bit more from them before I can do it. Ah, Daniel, that's no good. That sounds like a Sim Connect issue then. Make sure you guys hit the like button while you're here. Only 34 likes and 75 or so watching. .707 in Perth, hello. It rates pretty well. It sounds quite cool, doesn't it? So descending a bit quicker than the speed marker there, but I had that a bit slower for the hold. Can't be. They are implementing Direct 2 yet. When they released the stable version the other day, I asked them on their Discord, have you actually done the Direct 2 like I asked 2 or 3 months ago? And they said not yet. So a little disappointing, but they said it's in progress and it will be in the development version soon for the Salty Sim mod. And then I'll probably do a video on it, and then I'll do probably a live stream with it as well to show it all off. What's our VREF? 134, so 139. 19,000. There's our little snowflake, look, it's shooting over at or above. We've hit that, and now we're inbound for the next one. And the next one is at or above 3,000. And it's hit that perfectly. Let's set that. Let's go all the way down to 3,000. Transition. And there we go. Turning. We're back on that snowflake for the next VNAV down to 3,000. So this is the aeroplane descending using this button here, and it's hidden inside the EFB because that is only a feature that's in the CRJ700 and 1000.
5563 is inbound, Vival, 30 nautical miles out to the ILS Zulu 20.
Asuncion traffic skies 4944. Inbound Bival at 34 nautical miles to go. To that waypoint I'll report passing. Port, yeah, it's a little bit buggy. In the main, it's, you know, I really enjoy the CRJ more so than the Airbus because you've got to think more, and you have to think further ahead in this aeroplane. Let's get those auto throttle reverse thrusters armed. you've got to think a lot further ahead in this than you do in any other aeroplanes. Just turn that light on. They're all on as well. 15,000. Left, right, armed. I wonder if we can track that course now. Not yet. Radio. 109.5. You see we're coming up on Bival quite quickly now, 30 odd miles to go. Descending on idle in vertical speed mode, which is a little hidden feature inside the CRJ EFP. Curious about the new Embraer 110, but haven't heard much good about it. Yeah, I've not really heard of the developer, to be honest, and I wasn't going to waste money on an aeroplane that I'm probably never going to fly. From what I've seen, most people haven't got anything good to say about it, like you said. So, so it just confirms to me that there's no point me using it. I thought, Daniel, that's interesting. I thought they said that Asobo said that they fixed the VNAV issues. No, they fixed the SimConnect issues. Was it one update ago? So that's pretty poor if they've not done that yet. Bit of throttle because we're dropping below there. That speed is just target 240. To be fair, it'll be 30 miles at Bival with the initial approach fix. So let's start to just we'll allow the airplane to continue to decelerate to 215, I think. And Asuncion dead ahead. Look at that. Scenery down there is stunning. Look at that river. That is fantastic. Not seen that air crash. There's a new series on, isn't there, I think now, Air Crash Investigation. But the buggy code saved them. That is absolute madness. Let's get those lights on. Everything else is pretty much ready to go for arrival. 20 miles. 15 miles to Bival, actually. We're on that snowflake still, so there's our advisory VNAV telling us that we're going to be achieving 3,000. That seems like we're going to be a bit high. It says at or above, so I suppose anything's good in that sense. We're going to continue a descent down to 1,900. There we go. Yes, stunning scenery. South America is stunning in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I've got to say. So I highly recommend, if you're in FlyUK, I really recommend the tour, the Scenic South America Tour, which is what we're doing at the moment. Otherwise, if you're not in FlyUK, just have a little go. Just spawn in somewhere like this and copy the route that we've done. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful. Daniel, didn't the CRJ have an update?
3,000 feet.
Over the last few days, yes. Over the last few weeks, actually, I think it's had an update, but I don't think we've got an update recently. Cam Reese, awesome. Interestingly, YouTube hasn't caught up though. Joined as a channel member. Welcome. Let's do 2. I've been in an aeroplane that's been struck by lightning before, and it was quite an interesting experience. There was a big old bang and then a flash through the flight deck. There's one of the guys ahead. You just see the flashing lights. There's Asuncion Airport, I think, just off in the distance. Or is that it? No, yeah. Directly ahead of us, Asuncion. Or am I making it up? That could be it there, actually. Inbound Oblivion. Wow, that's a cool one. So actually, we want vertical speed because the VNAV is doing at or above 3000, and it's quite happy to fly above and not really be that bothered, whereas we're too high really. Are there any ATC in South America? Not at this time, no. 3,000 to go in 10 nautical miles. I think we could make that.
Traffic, Skyway 5563, establish localizer, runway 20.
There he is. Actually, I think we're on profile here. This is looking fine. 2100. Let's bring that rate of descent down. Asuncion traffic, Skyways 4944, inbound. Passing Bival for the ILS Zulu 20. Report next when established. Inbound Lanel. Now, I'm going to set heading mode for this one. Ooh, there we go. I was in roll then. Because I want to go to lock. Course 206. You have to set this in the Aerosoft CRJ manually. That's important. 206, make sure it matches the charts as well. And then put it back to FMS. In fact, no. Let's stay on lock. We're going to change the format of the screen to show the localizer. So lots to consider really and deal with in this. I feel like we're still... Okay, no, there's the glide slope, that's good, that's fine.
That's in traffic, Skyway 5563, on 5 mile final, runway 20.
We are about to land. Please remain seated until we have stopped.
Nav source, that's on there. Let's go back to this because we're now going to intercept the ILS. $180. Let's set 2,500, I think. Approach. Asuncion traffic, Skyways 4944 is established 8 miles, ILS 20 to land. I don't like how my view's clearly changed. Let's get some flaps in and a bit of power to go with it because we're slightly nose up here, and we also want to set a VREF, and we're keeping an eye on that glide slope bug as well to see if the nose drops down. Seven miles, gear down. That seems to be establishing nicely today. We'll see what happens in a second. There's the runway. Flaps 20. Let's bring that throttle back to idle for now, I think. Here we go. Look at that scenery down there though, that's beautiful. Stunning, isn't it? Next stage of flaps. Look at that, I've got to try and get a screenshot of this whilst flying the plane. Quickly, quickly. Missed approach set to 3000, 140. There's our approach speed. Extra stage of flaps has just dropped that below slightly, so let's add in some throttle. Gears down, there we go, that's a bit better. It's flying the ILS quite nicely now, guys. No issues at all there. Make sure we've recentered the heading bug as well, silly me. And I've got to remember to put my feet back on the rudder pedals. Slightly low. Disengage the auto throttle, autopilot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has aborted the landing. Please keep your
What?
seatbelts fastened as we will be landing shortly.
I have not. Not yet anyway. Watching that speed, we're coming a bit too low. Too slow, I should say. Too red, too white. So we're looking at the pappies. If you've got visual, don't look at your screens. So check them for your speed reference, and that's kind of it.
400.
Yeah, freaking out the passengers there, that crew member, for no reason at all. Let's try and drifted ever so slightly there from that centre line. Let's fight that back. Got to fight that centre line. There's an extension of the flight deck.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Or extended float. Reverse thrusts. Nose gently down and then some brakes to assist. There we are.
Please remain seated until the
We've got a double announcement now as well. And they wonder why people turn those announcements off. Okay, extend via Charlie then. Let's get APU power. SOV open. There we go. Asuncion traffic, Skyways 4944, vacating on Charlie. There we go. It's come to a bit of a creep rather than a stop, so we get strobes off, landing lights off. We can pop that off as well. APU's almost at 100%. We'll go and watch the other guys land as well. Oisinet, I'm not sure actually how long it's going to be for the next CRJ update. They have got a few issues to fix, of course. The ILS worked quite nicely there though, I've got to say. Whenever the CRJ goes wrong for me, it is usually user error. There's a truck. There's a tug over there, so I assume that's where the sim wanted us to go. Half the guys disconnected. Oh, I know Paul had a no, Dan had a crash to desktop. Is that a marshaller? Could well be. No idea. We'll park her here. Taxi light off. I hate Asobo airport scenery is just so bizarre. We'll swing it this way, shall we? Once that van gets out of the way. Oh, Matt's disconnected as well. How come? Dan, you'll probably not know, although in our Discord server we've got a model matching program that Philip's programmed. And yeah, you can pretty much run that through your community folder every now and again, just to refresh it. And add any new liveries into it, really. Must be a static van. So who else have we got on the way in? We've got 2 more on approach. I've still got Matt's actually shown as on finals. Bloody van. It's not going to move, is it? Aircraft. So let's get that off. Flick the lock. Fuel cut off. Daniel, have I heard about Digital Flight Dynamics A350 and do I like it? I have heard about the project, but whilst I would absolutely love to see their A350, I am dubious as to whether or not the project will get completed. The reason for saying that is because there are a lot of projects that pop up in the sim or in the simulator world that promise a whole load of things, and they pretty much just want to fill up a server on Discord. They can do a bit of modelling and all the rest of it, but then by the time, well, that's low res. By the time it actually comes to programming the flight files and making the aeroplane actually fly and work properly, they don't know how to do it. So I tend to wait until there's some genuine progress. Yeah, the zigzag today on the autopilot has been quite annoying, I've got to say. Didn't happen last time, bizarrely. Dylan added model matching for VATSIM, runs the liveries from the mega pack. The V-pilot's throwing red errors for liveries. Is this normal? Pretty much, yeah. Sadly, because there's no definitive package that works for model matching, we just have to try and do the best with what we've got, and it's not ideal. It doesn't always work as it should do. But again, you know, over time, hopefully that'll improve. Let's while we're waiting for the guys, let's have a little look at Hungry Vessel, Bronze Frequent Flyer, welcome. Let's have a little look at Falanta. Matthew, hello, good afternoon. I'm very well, I hope you're okay as well. Those of you who have joined us today as new channel members, very warm welcome to you. Hungry Vessel, for example, please contact us on Discord and inside our Discord server, and you'll see our. Basically, I'll upgrade your roles so you can access our club lounge. That's not bad, is it? Minus 92 foot per minute, 120 knots, and 1.24 G.
Osprey 5182 at Bival inbound.
Not bad.
Runway 20.
There you go. That's our landing data for today. Proof of butter, as some of you guys have said before. Let's see here. Mats is stuck in the air. Osprey 5182. And then John. Actually, not too far behind either, so let's go and raid the touchdown point and watch their landing, shall we? How you doing, Matthew? This is great scenery, look at this. And you get, again, you know, this FlyUK tour would never have visited somewhere like this. Philip, yeah, indeed, yeah, I can try and make something. In fact, this is a grass runway here. See these little white markers here? That looks like it's like an indication for a grass runway. So I wonder what this actually looks like in real life. I bet it looks absolutely stunning. Matthew, am I flying again today? I don't think so, no. We've been live for about 2 hours now, almost. 1 hour 46. We were looking at the next leg in this tour, but the next leg of this tour is about 2 hours long. It's Asuncion to Montevideo. Yeah, it's 1 hour 50 in duration, so it's quite long for the two of them, really. And not everybody that's flying along today can continue with us on the next trip. Oh, a little palm tree. And any minute now we should start to see. I'm just going to increase the speed of the drone cam. We should start to see whoever is next on approach. We've got 2 more to land. There's the touchdown marker. Let's go to this side actually. Yeah, love it. Ah, Matthew, nice, you're on the FlyUK EU Capitals Tour. They've recommended that I do the... what's it called? 707 liner. We've done Quito earlier on. It was one of the very first... it was the first leg actually. We did Bogota to Quito, the very first leg of the tour. We're halfway through the tour now.
Oxford 5182, turning final for runway 20.
Peter's renewed. Nice one. Thanks very much. Let me punch it into sim brief and see how long this next leg is going to be. I don't think I can fit it in today. So it'll be a new flight. Skaz to Sumu. Yeah, it's a scheduled flight time of 2 hours 10 it says, so quite a long one actually. Certainly longer than it looks on FlyUK. They say 1 hour 50. The Dangerous Airports Europe tour sounds quite good. Oh, it's a class. It must be a Class E tour. UK Loop tour, UK Regions tour. That's been recommended. While we're waiting for somebody to land. And it allows the CRJ700. That's cool. London to Norwich, Norwich to Humberside, Humberside to Newcastle. Then on to Edinburgh, on to Aberdeen, on to Inverness, then to Glasgow, Belfast, Isle of Man, Liverpool, Cardiff, Newquay, Bournemouth, Guernsey, Jersey, and then London City. That sounds quite cool. And some of those legs are actually really short in duration as well, like 40-minute journeys. So we could maybe bash out 2 of those per stream. Daniel, yeah, definitely. And at least on Sunday you won't necessarily be using SimConnect too much either. Except for maybe Navigraph, but you could always use Navigraph on a tablet.
182, 5 mile final.
You could always use Navigraph on a tablet without the SimConnect. Oh, I can see his lights. Ever so slightly in the distance, just there where my cursor is. Batang, hello. 707 liner, yes. If you search through the channel, If you go onto my main channel page and you search Quito, you should see 2 flights, one flying in and then one flying out of Quito. Daniel, do you have any tips for getting better FPS, because mine are not that good? When you say not good, do you have a number that's actually like your frames per second that you get on average, or is it nearer to 30? Because 30 is pretty good. Yeah, for me, a lot of my settings are between medium and high, and I've got a very similar system actually to what you have. So maybe drop some of your settings, because you can't have everything on ultra. And in fact, high and ultra, there's pretty much zero difference between the two. You can't really notice any difference. So I would recommend just using high. If you've got everything on ultra, set it to high instead. Dylan was asking, have I ever had intense game freezing for 10 to 15 seconds on short finals? Yeah, I have actually. Whenever there's been bad scenery, or scenery that has become incredibly detailed and intense, and not very well optimised, like Gatwick. I'm getting on final. I can fly out of there quite nicely, but on the way out, on the way into Gatwick, for example, I get really bad sim stutters. I had 4 or 5 actually the last time we flew in there, which is not great. Especially on VATSIM, because it freezes you on the radar for the controller as well.
Juliet Mike, it's fully established 9 miles or less.
Got 4 miles difference, lovely. Here he comes. In the Osprey livery. Matthew, yes, do we have our own Discord server? We do indeed. And inside our Discord server, guys, just like this one here, you can download our British AvGeek official Osprey liveries. So this one here is the gold frequent flyer version. You can download the one for everybody else as well. If you're not gold frequent flyer, you've got loads of liveries available too, including the Boeing 787-10 now. So we've got a good little fleet growing of liveries. About FPS, what actually helped me with switching from WD, NVMe, MD to Evo? Wow. Hungry Vessel, so your 970 Evo, because I'm not great with this sort of thing, we were having this discussion actually inside Discord earlier on. Is that an M2 NVMe as well? I mean, for me, I'm limited by my CPU, but my CPU is also limited by my fairly budget motherboard as well. David, yeah, butter indeed. And Dylan, yeah, it caused my game to be thrown into a nosedive to an extent that I crashed the plane. That's not good. I know, for example, the fly-by-wire A32NX, the development version now has the custom fly-by-wire inside of it, and you have to have a consistent 17 frames per second minimum as an all-time minimum that is consistent. Otherwise, the autopilot can't keep up. Dylan's going to be joining us on Sunday. Is it a problem if I run a separate livery for a bit of taste of realism? No problem at all. Yeah, fly whatever you like on Sunday. You guys are always welcome to fly alongside on VATSIM if you're confident on VATSIM. Yeah, and you can fly whatever livery you want. Out of interest, Dylan, what airline will you be flying in? Because I would try and add it in so it displays properly for me too. Oyston, wow, that's a good question. What is the best MSFS aircraft for VATSIM currently? Probably I would say the Aerosoft CRJ, because it can do holds and stuff as well. But then I love the fly-by-wire A320. That being said, the 787 Heavy Division can also now fly automated holds. So that almost puts it in front of the fly-by-wire mod a little bit, with in relation to progress. So that's a difficult question actually. I'm not really sure. Here comes John, skidding over the roofs. Dylan, yeah, what aeroplane? 787 Heavy Division? Ah, they do. Okay, perfect. Yeah, let me know, and I'll make sure you'll have to ignore the fact the door's down. That's one of the weird things that happens with the AI CRJs. Paul, yep. Well, the 787 can do holds, and it uses the working title Flight Plan Manager. So, what the CJ4 can do in relation to holds and things, the 787 can actually do the same. And a lot of people don't realise the 787 Heavy Division mod uses the working title, Flight Plan Manager, and the hold system and everything else. There we go. I think, check Volanta. I think that was all of us. Yes. So, wait for John to taxi on in. Oh, blurry. Couple of crashed to desktops, sadly.
7 Juliet Mike vacated runway 20. Taxi to gate.
Love it. Look at that. Get a little screenshot when John gets into frame as well. Who makes the 787? Paul. It's a group called Heavy Division. If you check out my channel, I'll put the link in the live chat actually. You want to join their Discord server to get the latest links to it. Get shareable link. There you go, check the live chat. For a link, that's a video that I've done with holds in the Boeing 787. If you join their Discord server, there's a direct link to an experimental branch, and that's what you'll want to use. And that's the one with a lot of the working title code working inside of it, so very impressive. There's no sound mod for the 787 yet, but it is being worked on. So watch this space. There we go. Shame about the van and how it's strange it hasn't moved. EXO doesn't overclock anymore, means just factory boosted. Have problems in other games with overclocking. Yeah. I think I got mine custom built and I just sort of left it set to that. I think it's overclocked anyway, but I didn't do it. The professionals did. So on Sunday, folks, make sure you join me live. We're going to be, again, same time, so 1200 Zulu, 1300 British summertime. We're going to be going to Vancouver, and we're going to be flying down to San Diego, payware scenery on both ends in the Heavy Division Boeing 787-10 Microsoft Flight Simulator. We'll be checking out all the very latest updates to that, and I'll be showing you guys a full flight with it on VATSIM. So be sure to join us for that. During that flight, we're going to be giving away a couple of goodies as well, because those of you who haven't tuned in before, we do quite a few giveaways on this channel, so always enjoyable and fun. You've got to be subscribed to be eligible. Hopefully I see you all on Sunday. Thanks to all of you guys that flew along, including those of you who sadly had some crash to desktops en route as well. Mats and Daniel, sad to hear. Welcome to our brand new channel members as well. Make sure, Hungry Vessel, yeah, as you're saying there, drop us a message on Discord, either inside the Discord server itself or anywhere else, DM or whatever, and we'll get your role upgraded so you can see the club lounge for members only. Again, if you want the liveries for the channel, head to our Discord server, go to the channel liveries channel page, and you can download a whole variety: CRJs, A320s, 787s, and a couple of light aircraft as well. Thanks all for watching. I hope you enjoy the weekend to come, and I'll see you all Sunday for that 787 giveaway trip down the west coast of the US. Thanks for watching.